had a supersonic dash capability in a shallow dive, and the MiG-17F became the most numerous of all versions. And they became very widely used across the Warsaw Pact and the wider Soviet sphere of influence. It wasn't along the fastest or highest flying Soviet interceptor, but it was a rock fighter. What about Vietnam? Well, MiG-17Fs were the North Vietnamese Air Force's most agile fighters. One US Air Force report on their capabilities said they were, quote, rather old and simple, but they could still outturn aircraft like the F-4 Phantom. And North Vietnamese MiG pilots came to realise they could defeat the American jets by drawing them into a close-in, turning dogfight that was too close to the use of missiles and in which they achieved the kill using their guns. And also because this was still quite a small aircraft, ex-Syrian MiG-17Fs were exploited by the Americans under programs codenamed Ham Drill and Ham Ferry. The major American fighter and fighter bomber types. And one US Navy report from a tactical evaluation said every Navy pilot engaged in the project lost his first engagement with the Fresco Sea. In fact, it was recommended by the US Navy that its A-4 Skyhawks, A-6 Intruders, and A-7 Corsair II pilots should not engage the MiG-17. Later, a Chinese-built J-5A, equivalent to the MiG-17F, that had been operated by the Cambodians, was evaluated in Vietnam, not in combat, by US Air Force pilots, and a MiG-17PF model arrived at the top-secret test base at Groom Lake in 1972. It was part of the Sea Corps of the unit that became the 4,477th Test and Evaluation Squadron, famously known as the Red Eagles. And it taught many important lessons to US military fighter pilots about how they needed to prepare for battle. MiG-17 a challenging atmosphere, what the American pilots call a telephone boom, close in, turning and burning. It's incredible to have this aircraft displaying for us, this ex-Polish Air Force LIM-5, which was delivered to that air arm in 1958. And served until 1991, because just 4 years after that, it came here to Duxford. It was bought by the old flying machine company. The late Mark Hanna was, at that time, really expanding OFMC's inventory into classic jets, and this was one of them. However, it was never destined to be made airworthy in the UK, including when it was sold to a new owner who kept...
Well, that's a big guy.
Interland, after an absolutely splendid showing, please show your appreciation for Mateusz Strama from FUBAR Aviation with the LIM-5.
A road, very long and very windy road, but indeed with ratchet straps which are into the aircraft. Normal straps aren't sufficient for this type of aerobatic, so we have used those big ratchet straps, and if Richard can breathe easily, then that strap's not tight enough, so he's strapped in and ready to go.